This meeting of the Oak Park City Council is called to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. City Clerk Norris, would you call the roll?
Mayor McClellan.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Radner. Councilmember Burns.
Here.
Councilmember Rich. Councilmember Weiss.
Here.
We have a quorum. Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Item 5 is the consent agenda. These are routine items presented for council approval without discussion. Regular council meeting minutes of July 15th, 2019. Special council meeting minutes of July 15th. Retirement board meeting minutes of April 22nd. Board of Review meeting minutes of July 14th. Corridor Improvement Authority meeting minutes of May 16th. Zoning Board of Appeals meeting minutes of June 25th. Parks and Recreation Commission meeting minutes of June 19th. Request to designate Mayor Marion McClellan as the official representative and City Manager Eric Tungate as the alternate representative for the Michigan Municipal League annual meeting. And finally, licenses, new and renewals submitted for August 5th, 2019. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
So all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. We have an elected official, Oakland County Commissioner Helene Zach.
Good evening, everybody. I want to bring you some news from Oakland County. First of all, I want to remind people that we do have a Veterans Department, an Oakland County Veterans Department, and they are there to take care of our residents access their federal benefits. And the federal benefits are so complex that it's nice to have veteran counselors to help you. And they're doing a whole campaign of billboards to promote this service, and it's called the Veterans Journey. And if you want to seek services, you can go to the Troy office building of Oakland County, which is on Crooks Road, and their number's 655-1250. There's also on the Oakland County website, www.oakgov.com/veterans, where you can access this help. I know several years ago, they tabulated that they brought in over $1 million versus worth of services to our residents, our Veterans Services Department. So it's there to take care of you. I also am leaving some senior newsletters that particularly on the back, it has a good senior resource directory. I'm leaving some for the library and the rec center. We are presently in budget time, and the most important thing that we do as the Board of Commissioners is to invest the tax dollars wisely. And we are in budget hearings. It's a whole new process. I have the privilege and the opportunity to chair the Finance Department, and we are doing more extensive investigation, financial analysis. We've hired some staff. We are going to have a fiscal analyst do an independent review of the county budget for the first time, which I think is really much better government. Oakland County did settle a dispute with the Department of HUD, Housing Urban Development. Part of the agreement is that we are now going to be investing about $600,000 of our home funding toward what I call attainable or affordable housing. And it's exciting, it's overdue. I know Oak Park has been fabulous and has a couple of projects going on for people to find, attainable housing. Finally, there is a contest, an I Voted sticker contest that I encourage youth to apply for. One student in grades 6 through 8 and one in 9 and 10 will have an opportunity to win $1,000 in this I Voted sticker contest. We are going to be celebrating our bicentennial, or our centennial of women's voting, the suffrage movement, and this is a contest to commemorate that issue. And we're going to have I Voted stickers that are designed by the youth. So if you want to apply, the designs must portray the celebratory theme of the 100th anniversary of women's suffrage. And you can submit this or get more information from the Oakland County Clerk, or the contest rules are at www.oakgov.com/votesforwomen. And our clerk might want to help promote that. And it's a great opportunity for somebody to win $1,000, which is being donated through banks. So that's all. Just a reminder, I'm sorry to say that our Oakland County exec, Brooks Patterson, passed on Saturday. He was a long-standing, very formidable leader that really cared and loved our county. And there will be viewing on Tuesday in the executive building, followed by visitation and the funeral the next week on Wednesday and Thursday, August 14th and 15th. So, and then the question that people are asking now, what happens? So Brooks's top chief deputy, Jerry Passan, was sworn into office on Saturday, and he is the acting county exec until two things can happen. The Board of Commissioners, of which I am one, has the opportunity to vote for an appointment that will serve until the next election, or if we don't appoint somebody, then this position will go into the next voting election, so probably a primary and so forth. So that's what's going on.
Thank you so much.
Any questions for me? Yes.
If I could just ask, my understanding was that the interim position can only be filled for a maximum of 30 days. Is that not correct?
Correct, but at the same time, that it's acting. If you don't appoint,
Okay.
then, you move into and you call for a special election, you can have that person continue acting in that interim.
And that would be in the next primary election?
What?
That would be the next primary election, you said?
The next scheduled, it would be probably the next scheduled election, or it would be the next scheduled election date. So we
Thank you.
do them quarterly, so I guess that would be the first opportunity.
Thank you.
So just to understand it. Any other questions?
Very informative as always. Thank you.
Thank you.
Please look at number 10, special licenses. 10A is a request for special event license and waiver of fees submitted by Mark Phillips, 13670 Nadine, for the Nadine Street Block Party held August 24th. Is there a motion to approve the request?
So moved.
Second?
Any discussion or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. Please look at item 10B, request for special event license and waiver of fees submitted by Solomon Radner, 26071 Radcliffe Place, for the Radcliffe Place Block Party to be held on August 25th. Is there a motion to approve this request?
So moved.
Second?
Moved and seconded. Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Item 10C, it's party month here. Request for special event license submitted by Bookbee, 26010 Greenfield, for a special outdoor book sale and store celebration to be held on August 18, 2019. Is there a motion to approve this request?
So moved.
Second?
Moved and seconded. We have somebody from BookBeat here. Do you want to tell us just a bit about what you plan? How long has BookBeat been in the city of Oak Park?
Since 1982, 37 years. We're turning 37, so it's our birthday anniversary, and we're having our annual sale, and we're having authors, and I think there'll be some art activities, and we're having the speaker, the B and the D man is going to speak. Isn't he coming to Wednesday to your
Library?
sale outside for
Oh,
your
right.
food thing? He's
Yeah.
going to talk about bees, and I just encourage people to support local and that we're a bookstore in our community for 37 years, and to hopefully you'll stop in and tell your friends.
Local bookstores are a treasure, and they are rare, and it would be great if you could all support our BookBeat.
Thank you.
Thank you. Did we vote? No. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Motion carried. Item 13A, first reading of an ordinance to amend Chapter 2, Administration of the Code of Ordinances, City of Oak Park, Michigan, by amending Article 6, Public Library, Sections 2, 651, Board of Directors, and Section 2, 652, Terms of Members, Removals and Vacancies. Is there a motion to
Point of
approve
order,
the
Madam
first
Mayor.
reading?
First, a point of order. Maybe I'm wrong, but I thought that this was an item that we were going to be discussing with our council prior to this matter coming up. Maybe I'm wrong. This was supposed to be part of a special meeting. I may be wrong.
No, I don't think
All
there's
right.
anything.
If it was something that our city attorney thought we should hold on to, I would suggest tabling it until such time, but if she's not so
City attorney has
concerned-
no
No?
objection.
Okay. Fine, then I don't have an objection to it coming up now.
Okay. Is there a motion and is
So moved?
there a second? Ken? Was there a second?
I have not seconded it yet.
Second.
Thank you. City attorney, can you just explain details of this ordinance?
Yes. Good evening, Madam Mayor and Council. The proposed ordinance amendment amends two sections of the city ordinance dealing with the public library. The first proposed section 2-651 increases the number of members from 5 members to 9. And then the suggested change to section 2-652 is to decrease the number of the years for the term from 5 years to 2 years. Those are the two changes that are recommended today.
Now, of course, this is for new appointees. This doesn't impact the terms of people already serving.
That is correct.
Okay. All right. We have a motion and a second. Are there questions or discussion? Are we ready to vote? Roll call, please.
Councilmember Burns.
Yes.
Mayor McClellan.
Yes?
Councilmember Rich.
Yes.
Councilmember Weiss.
Yes.
Motion carried. City Attorney, do you have anything to share?
I have no report this evening. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. We have Assistant City Manager Kevin Yee.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'd like to call up Director Steve Cooper to go over 15A, please.
Good evening to the Mayor, Council, Assistant City Manager, City Attorney, City Clerk. The Department of Public Safety is requesting to replace the Oakland County early warning siren located at Granson and Park Lawn. The siren is one of 4 that provides early warning notification in the event of severe weather. The current siren was installed sometime prior to 1977 and is currently inoperable. Public Safety had the siren inspected by a licensed contractor, and due to the age of the siren, the best option would be to have the siren replaced. City of Oak Park is currently part of the Oakland County Early Weather Warning Program, which we have an interlocal agreement. The agreement covers the 3 operable sirens stationed throughout the city, and as part of the agreement, the county would also be responsible for the 4th siren. This would include the maintenance of the siren, the electrical costs, the monthly test/activation, and monitoring for the life of the siren. The life of the siren is rated at 30 years, and the county would also maintain ownership of the siren. Cost of the new siren is $23,000. 25% of that cost would be absorbed by the county, which comes up to $5,750, leaving a balance of $17,250. City of Oak Park would be responsible for the installation cost as well of $900. Total cost to the City of Oak Park would be $18,150. I'm requesting that City Council authorize the City of Oak Park to enter into an interlocal agreement with the Oakland County Homeland Security and Early Weather Warning Program to replace the inoperable siren at Granson and Park Lawn at a cost of $18,150 to be taken from the general fund balance.
Okay, is there a motion to authorize entering into this interlocal agreement?
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Question, so the county is going to own it and maintain it,
That's correct.
but we get the great honor of paying for 3/4 of it?
Yeah, well, what happens with it is it basically comes out to probably about half and half. Because of the program that they described here in the interlocal agreement, they absorb the 25% of the cost up front, and then by the time they pay all of the with the activation fee, the maintenance, preventative maintenance as well, testing, and anything that goes wrong with that siren for the life of the siren, then they would be responsible for. And I spoke with Tracy McGee, one of the Homeland Security specialists, and kind of inquired about some of those questions as far as the ownership of the siren, and that's basically the way it was explained.
Thank you so much. Any questions? Yes.
So the cost of it would come from the general fund. Is there a reason why this wasn't part of our budget for the year? Did something recently happen to it, or we just weren't aware of it?
No, the siren, like I said, is quite old. It's pre-1977, so it's not something that I took upon myself to put in our budget. There's other things, to be quite honest with you, Councilmember Weiss, that we had to cut out of the budget that we knew was not operating because we just didn't have the funding for it. And to, I guess, preemptively put this in there, in my opinion, it would have never made it through. And we didn't know specifically how long the siren was going to last. It's been limping along for some years. We were hoping that we could probably get a few more years out of it, but unfortunately, by being pre-1977, you never can tell.
Yeah, I think, I'm sorry. I think Councilmember Weiss was asking, when did it go out also, correct? And
You're talking probably within the last, it was after the budget was passed. I got contacted by Tracy McGee from Homeland Security because they go out monthly and actually do the testing. So once we found out that it was inoperable, the plan of action was to hopefully have it repaired. We were hoping it maybe been something minor or that we could have absorbed out of the public safety budget. By the time we actually got the contractor out there and they started looking and trying to do a diagnostic on it, and being as old as it was, they're like, we can't even potentially find parts for the siren. So that's when I started going into investigating how much would it cost to replace the siren. Just so you know, I want to make council aware that it's not required that you have the siren. We have 3 other sirens, but obviously it wouldn't make much sense to have 3/4 of your city covered with a warning weather siren and not have the last quarter of the city covered. But just so you're aware, that it's not a requirement, but I felt it was something that was important, and I felt that this council would probably, in light of all of the information coming forth, would want the entire city covered with the early warning weather siren. So that's why I'm bringing it forward to you. And believe me, I don't want to bring it forward any more than you want to authorize it out of the general fund balance. So just know that.
Okay, thank you. I think it's good to know it's only been inoperable for a very short amount of time.
Right.
When
They
you started
check it.
off saying 1970s. I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah,
it can't be
no.
broke that long?
They check them on a monthly basis, and then, like I said, they notified me once it was actually determined it's not functioning. So
It
we
needs
went
to be
into our
repaired
diagnostic mode, so.
for the
Just a
betterment of
short
the
period
city.
of time. And you still would have some overlay coverage from some of the other ones that potentially, hopefully, would give you some type of warning if in the event, until we get this one up and running, that if we do have some type of severe weather, that it'll give you some type of warning signal, so.
Thank you.
Okay, yes.
How long do you, if this is approved, how long do you think it would likely take before the new one was installed and operational?
That's a good question. I would have to ask it just depends on how quickly we can get the contractor out here. Don't hold me to this, but I'm thinking few weeks tops. They'll remove the old one, dispose of that one, and then, like I say, do the installation, provided that they have a siren that's not going to have to be shipped from, somewhere far, far away, that we should, with a couple weeks, I think we'll do it. If I get the authorization from council tonight, like I said, I'll jump on that, we'll start the ball rolling first thing.
Thank you.
Are we ready to vote? Roll call, please.
Mayor McClellan.
Yes.
Councilmember Rich. Councilmember Weiss.
Yes.
Councilmember Burns.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you.
Okay, call to the audience. Please give us your name and address and limit your comments to 3 minutes. Councilmember Burns.
Good evening. Joyce Bannon, 10611 Troy. I'm here to say, from my 93-year-old lady friend that I take to church and my husband, they cannot hear anything over the television when they're watching the city council meeting. They cannot audio it at all. The audio is terrible, and they can't hear it. So that's my biggest complaint, I guess, from them. I've mentioned it before that some people don't talk into the microphone. I'm speaking into the microphone, so I'm sure that they'll hear me tonight. And if they don't, then I'll smack them in the face on Saturday. So, but that's my complaint.
Thank you.
You can't hear it over the television if they're watching it at home.
Good afternoon. I live here in Oak Park. I got a problem.
Give us your name and address.
I don't want to give you my name, but I'm going to give it to you since you asked me.
Oh, you know what? You can just give it to the clerk for
Okay.
his records.
Why are you looking at me like that? What's the matter? Okay, I just was wanting to know. Well, anyway, my name is Dolores Tyler. I live in Oak Park. My address is 15130 Pearson. And my complaint is, I live on the corner, and I'm having a serious problem. Either I'm not registering up here or what. I got a boat next door to me. It hasn't rained since, it hasn't moved since 2015. I had to call the Oak Park police a couple of months ago because this lady have lawn service. They can't get in on her side because the boat is sitting there. So they moved my decorations to bring their tractor through to do her lawn. So since the police was nice enough to go over there and speak to them for me, about a week later, her son comes from Southfield, and I'm standing there, and I see how they keep doing like this, and I'm like, I call my neighbor, I said, you know what I think they're trying to do? They're trying to figure out how can they push their boat over here on me. And they tried it, and now it's crooked. And it don't run, it don't have a propeller on the back of it. So, is anything to be done about that?
After the meeting, speak to Assistant City Manager Kevin Yee. It's a code enforcement issue. Speak to him after the meeting.
Okay, and another thing is, I don't want no problem with, because her son, the elevator don't go to the top, like I told the police. And I don't want this to be a problem, because I live by myself, my husband is deceased. But I'm not gonna let anybody run me from my house. When I leave, Pearson is leaving because I want to leave, not because the person next door. And he tried to steal my water 2 years ago. But I didn't complain because my husband had already turned it off way before he died, because he figured, how are you washing a car and you don't have a water hose? And when we come home, we see the water going down the driveway. And my husband said, I bet you he's using our water when we leave to go to the casino and places. And I'm laying in my bed and I hear something going, screet, screet. I'm like, what the hell is that? And then I turned the TV down, it went screet, screek again. So some say, it's time to get up. I got up and looked out my window and there he was, trying to steal water. I didn't know they still did that in the 2000s. I thought that was all over. But I have a problem. Officer Cook gave me his personal card about this problem with this fella. But he doesn't live there, but he comes to visit there. And he's a heavy drinker. So I don't want no problems. I don't want myself to go to jail
No
because
problem.
I had to do something I didn't want to do. So I want you to handle the situation for me, please.
Thank you. Okay.
Turn it off on the side.
Technical difficulties, please stand by. Got it? Thank you.
Hi, I'm Julie Edgar, 14731 Manhattan Place.
Great to see you.
Nice to see you too. So I called the city about this, and I don't know whether it's on the schedule for repair, but the walkway through Tyler Park, part of which is controlled by the city of Oak Park, part of which is controlled by the Berkeley schools, is in terrible condition. In fact, it's in such bad condition that you can't bike, you can barely walk, you certainly cannot push a stroller. It does need to be replaced. And I don't know who's responsible, whether it's a city job, whether it's part of the school district's responsibility. But
Speak to the assistant city manager after, and they will look into it and find out.
okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for coming.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Lucy Lawson. I've been living in Oak Park since 1984. I'm pleased with it. I love the police department. Everything is A-OK. I have a problem. I live at 21800 Harding Street in Oak Park. I have a neighbor that has a truck, and the truck is dripping oil. It's everywhere, all up and down the street. Isn't there supposed to be a city ordinance for that not to be done? Because the oil is going all up and down the streets, and if you park, you're going to bring it all into your home. So I thought it was, and when the streets need to be clean, they can't get clean because most of the cars are still parked there. So I don't know if they're enforcing it or not. This has been going on for quite a while.
Well, speak to our favorite person again at the
Okay.
end of the meeting. Thank you
Okay.
so much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you for coming in. And thanks for being a long-term resident. Anybody else? All right. Call to City Council, Councilmember Burns.
Thank you, everyone, for coming out. Have a pleasant evening. Good night.
Councilmember Weiss?
Good evening, everyone. Just a couple of quick things, reminders of some events we have coming up in the city. This Wednesday is Family Market Day at the Farmers Market. I heard mention that there may be some authors coming. I know that the Oakland County Parks and Recreation will be present, and there's going to be a lot of activities for families and children alike. So that is a normal farmers market time on Wednesday from 9 to 1, so encourage everyone to come out to that. The following day, on Thursday, is the final summer concert series. Seems like it's too soon for summer to be over, but last summer concert series date is this coming Thursday.
And it's Motown.
Yes, the band Sirius will be performing. So we encourage everyone to come to that as well. That's from 7 to 8:30 in Shepherd Park. And then Summer Blast is on Saturday at 11 o'clock, and that includes the barbecue battle and lots of fun events as well. So we encourage everyone to come out to that. That is in this area in the lawn between City Hall and Recreation. So we encourage everyone to come. Additionally, we just had, for the first time in many, many years, a teen-only swim at the pool. Several of us were present for that who are in the room today, the Madam Mayor, Library Director, of course, our Parks and Recreation Director. We had over 80 teens. 88 teens total came out to that, and everyone had fun. I talked to a lot of the teens personally, and they said that it was great, and they hope that we do it on a weekly basis moving forward. I don't know if we'll have the resources for that, but the teens definitely appreciated it. Did I run out of time?
Yeah, okay.
Okay, sorry.
It was her.
And the last thing really quick is library. For people who have been down to see, there are currently some chicken eggs that are incubating and will be hatching on the 19th. So if you want to see that in action, please come down. And summer reading ends on the 16th. Thank you, everyone. Have a good night.
Thank you so much. Councilmember Rich.
Thank you for coming. Have a great night.
I was going to mention the chickens hatching. That was kind of a fun event at the library. Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson came to the Oak Park Library. Wants everyone to know, first, that you can vote straight party again. Second, that a new development is that used to be you had to be over 60 to vote absentee, or you had to be out of the city. So they changed that to make it easier for students and other people. Anybody can vote absentee in this election. And she said there was a small city, and the clerk experimentally sent a letter out to half the population saying, did you know that anybody can vote absentee, and here's how to do it. And the other half of the city didn't get the letter. So normal voting was about 12%, which is what the part of the city voted that didn't get the letter, and it doubled the participation for the part that was aware of the ability to vote absentee. So we need to get the word out, tell your friends and neighbors. We had a groundbreaking for Coolidge Place, 64 units. We are asking when applications will be accepted. I don't have an answer yet, but at the next meeting, we should have an answer. How many have seen the Lincoln Drugs mural? There's a picture of Abraham Lincoln and the quote, "All men are created equal," on there. Kind of a nice, only mural in the city right now. Very nicely done by older Huntington Woods artist. Channel 4's Devin Skillion was in the library. Aside from being a political reporter, he is a country music singer, and he wrote 19 children's books, and one of them was Memoirs of a Hamster, which I tested on my grandchildren, and they thought it was hilarious. Memoirs of a Hamster. So thank you for coming. Glad you could come out. Thanks for participating, and have a great week.